I'm Public Relations Director for ISC West. We're here talking to a number of companies about their products and technologies, and one of the newest technologies on the scene is social media. And today we have an expert that is a social media expert not only for a company, but has also made some recommendations to dealers and integrators on how they can use social media for their business. Happy to introduce you, Ksenia Coffman, Firetide. Tell us what you do in the social media space for Firetide first.
Well, I started obviously participating in LinkedIn groups, and I've been doing that for a while, but I really didn't consider that to be social media because it's a closed medium. I later on got interested in Twitter, and I started a Firetide Twitter account and my personal one. From then, I branched out to blogging, and I feel that the blogging really should be the core platform for a company's social media presence, because you can direct traffic from Twitter, from Facebook, from your regular page to the blog, and that's what personalizes the company to your readers. To a certain extent, you're becoming your own publisher. You are not as dependent on the trade press or the regional press or the national press. You can be your own publisher and provide the information that you feel is important to your customers, partners, suppliers, distributors directly.
Now you do that for Firetide, but you also spoke here at ISC West to dealers and integrators. Tell us a little bit about what were some of the pieces of advice that you had given them during your session here at the show.
In my session, I focused on why social media, and I gave a couple of examples of crisis communications and how the use of social media can benefit whatever you're doing to respond to a crisis. I gave some examples of TSA using social media to respond to a critic. I gave an example of University of Texas at Austin, how they use social media during the active shooter situation that they had. So my message to the integrators was that you have to start your social media now and establish these channels, so if something should happen, either involving your company or involving your community, you can respond, because in times of a crisis, people turn to social media for information, for real-time updates, and you need to have a presence, so if somebody accuses you falsely or it is a true incident that you're responsible for, you can respond to people through these channels, because that's where they're looking for information.
So if you're a local dealer and you have a business that you serve a town or municipality or a grouping of a region, for example, what's the first piece of advice that you might give them? Should they be on Twitter first? Should they have a LinkedIn account? Should they blog? What's the first piece of advice?
I would say if the business is primarily business to consumer, then Facebook would be a really good outlet, because a lot of consumers are coming there and are very active on Facebook. If you are business to business, a commercial systems integrator, I would recommend doing a blog and probably Twitter. Just as an example, a lot of people are tweeting from this conference, and some people are actually following virtually. They don't have to travel, or they couldn't travel, so they follow through the hashtag and they participate virtually in the conference. So I would say business to business is LinkedIn, Twitter, and blog. Business to consumer is Facebook.
There's probably a good opportunity for dealers and integrators to educate the public on security using any of the social media web platforms. But should they be careful about using social media? I know there's some hesitation. What would you answer? How would you answer that question if a dealer and integrator says, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't want to get caught in something that I'm not able or prepared to answer.
There was a question that came up similar to that during the conference. What if there are only people criticizing me or attacking me? And my message to the integrators, people are going to talk about you whether or not you are on social media. They're talking about you on social media, and it's better to provide them a platform and to listen, to know what they're saying, so you can address the concerns, answer their questions, thank the people who are happy with your service. So create this community that would be supportive of you in your initiatives and will spread your message, whether it's a promotional message or you're trying to respond to a crisis.
Now, it's a social medium, so I know some people think it's sort of an opportunity to create a marketing message. How do you advise people about using it in the true social way?
Well, again, you have to separate business to consumer and business to business. In business to consumer, people are looking for promotions. They look for specials. They follow companies so they can get the coupons, the special deals. In business to business, you have to focus more on a relationship. And social media is a great way to establish a relationship with influencers in your market, the editors, the analysts, the bloggers. And just to give you an example, Beth contacted me for this session through Twitter, through a direct message on Twitter, because we follow each other, we know each other through the preparation for ISC West show. So it's a great way to establish relationships that can be reinforced when you meet in real time.
So if you are a small business and you're looking at the social platform, you said blogging might be a good way, or probably one of the best ways to reach a community. What are some of the topics that you might recommend a dealer or an integrator talk about? And what if you're not comfortable writing? Is there an easy way to sort of blog?
Well, I would say for a dealer integrator who is again dealing business to consumer, that would be helpful tips about home security, what to do when you go on vacation, what are the crime statistics in your area. I would focus on the local region. For business to business, I personally blog about Firetide's technology, Firetide's customers, some questions that I get through social media, and I answer them on the blogs. These are some of the very popular blog posts that I had. So I'm trying to personalize the company, a lot of images, a lot of photographs. I did a very fun video surveillance tour of Chicago in 2 parts, and that was very popular because I went to all of the surveillance locations, I took pictures, I described what was happening, and people were linking to this blog because they were saying, if you live in Chicago, you should really check this out. If you see all of these systems, this blog post explains what you're actually seeing. And that's how we get our message beyond the trade press to just the general population.
Because there's a genuine interest and probably information need by the public to feel secure and safe. And this is a great way to do that while engaging your company and your brand with the community that you're serving. So the session was well attended?
I would say there were about 40 people, so we were happy with the turnout.
All dealers and integrators, did you get anybody else?
There were manufacturers, there were some end users, some dealers, integrators, central station. So it was a good mix of people.
Oh, good. Is there somebody in the social media space that you think is particularly influential?
There are what some people call Twitterati, who have a lot of followers. They blog on social media. So if you're interested in social media, these are the good people to follow. But I personally don't really follow them. I follow more people in the industry, other manufacturers, media, analysts, our partners, our integrator customers, consultants. I really like to focus on the community who engages, who shares information, rather than you A-list bloggers who only write about social media. I try to focus more on people in the industry, and for us it's both wireless and physical security.
Is there a dealer or an integrator that's using social media really effectively?
Probably one that stands out is Vivint. They do a fairly good job. They have multiple people on social media. They have a Facebook page. Manufacturers, I would say Firetide is one of the thought leaders because we were sort of early in the physical security space, and a lot of people look up to us how to do social media. Some people comment that not a lot of manufacturers have blogs, and I do get very positive comments on the blog specifically.
And that's a good measure of success, is when you're getting comments and people interacting with you.
Obviously, and also we measure what the referrals we're getting from the blog to the main website. And I plan to expand that to more of a lead generation function later on.
Well, and that's a good segue to a question. If you embark on social media, and you were talking from the B2B side, companies might see it as a waste of time because they don't see any material business value out of it. But in fact, that can be the case. If you're listening and you're monitoring, you are seeing opportunities.
Social media is just another way of communicating. It's a newer way. It's kind of more of a self-publishing way, content-driven way. So if you advertise, you buy a space in a magazine and it's gone in a month. If you write a blog post, it's going to live forever as long as the internet lives. So it's just a different way of communicating. If you have an advertising budget, you should really be looking at social media to supplement the awareness campaigns, the lead generation campaigns you are producing.
And there's brand engagement, there's driving registrations if you're looking to convert leads into sales. Social media really can offer a whole nother dimension to your business.
Exactly, and again, at this conference, you can be at multiple places at once. And I do wish that more people were tweeting and blogging from this conference, because I cannot be in all the places I want to be at once. So I think social media is a great complement to events, in-person events specifically.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you. In fact, there was a tweet up, I think, a couple of tweet ups here. So people got to meet, or took the relationship from a virtual to a physical standpoint. We met on Twitter and then met physically here at the show. So there's a lot of possibilities and opportunities in social media for the security space.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, we just got to get everybody ramped up and using it.
Yes.
Great. Well, thank you. I enjoyed
Beth.
talking to you, and we'll stay in touch. And your handle on Twitter, if anybody wants to follow you, is?
My handle is Ksenia Coffman, and the handle for Firetide is Firetide.
So we can follow either. And is there a Facebook page?
There is a Firetide Facebook page, and the hashtag for ISC West is ISCW11.
That's right.
With a hashtag sign.
That's right. So if you're looking to follow the conversation and learn a little bit about what's going on at the show, you can search us by the hashtag, which is a number sign ISCW11. And if you can't make it to the show, you'll be able to follow us that way. And great. Well, I think we would have a much different conversation next year when we sit down and do this again.
Thank you, Beth.
Great. Thank you.